Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and it's time for some Money in the Bank predictions. I am filming this immediately after Monday Night Raw, and what an upset in the final in the match for the final men's Money in the Bank match. And the women's Money in the Bank match is now set as well, as Stephanie Valkyrie is now in the match, as she defeated Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile in her qualifying match. So, who is going to win the Money in the Bank contracts this year? And again, usually the 1 year window, right? We always hear it's a 1 year window. So, is it like goes by the calendar date, or is it the Money in the Bank PLE to the next Money in the Bank PLE? Because we know New Orleans is hosting Money in the Bank next year, but in August. So technicality, if we go by Money in the Bank PLE and to the next Money in the Bank PLE, that would mean whoever wins this Saturday will have more than a year to cash in. But we'll have to see about that. Alright, starting off, we have Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. They had a great match at Backlash, and I imagine this match will be just as good. And I'm curious, are this going to be where they put the title on Becky? Are we going to see the return of Bayley? Maybe Bayley costs Becky the match? Because I imagine either Evolution or SummerSlam, we're going to get a triple threat match between the three. Like I said, either Evolution, SummerSlam. So I have to think Bayley's return will be soon, so we can pay off that part of the story of Becky taking Bayley out. So this could go either way. And truthfully, I think they want to put that title on Becky. And I could see them maybe moving into the Bayley-Becky feud, and then Lyra coming back. Maybe she takes some time off, and then she inserts herself. That's how we get the triple threat match. But yeah, I'm going to go Becky Lynch here to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And sticking with the women's, let's go ahead and move to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Because the field is set, and we now know who is in this match after Stephanie McCure won her qualifying match. We got Julia, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, who is in the Judgment Day, not in the Judgment Day. We're all still trying to figure that out. Then you got Naomi. Then you got Rhea Ripley. Yeah. And Stephanie Vaquer, like I said. So, this is a tough one because there's multiple options here. And I feel like, to me, Julia, they've kind of already positioned her to be going after Zelina for the Women's U.S. Championship. So I don't think that Julia will win because of that. I feel like Dominic Mysterio would have been a perfect candidate to be in this match. But because he's the Intercontinental Champion, they took him out. Or he wasn't even in the qualifying matches. So I think if Julia is going to take the U.S. Women's Championship from Zelina, then she's not winning the Money in the Bank match. But hey, at least we're going to get a little bit more tease of a Julia-Stephanie feud down the line. Rhea Ripley, Julia, Rhea, Stephanie, we kind of saw in a promo tonight backstage. Rhea, interacting with Stephanie there. Then you got Roxanne. Like I said, she's in the Judgment Day. She's maybe not in the Judgment Day. But I feel like Liv Morgan might get involved and trying to help Roxanne win, but ends up costing her, and she seems to be untrustworthy of Finn Balor, and Finn Balor seems to be kinda, it's water under the bridge, and hitting the Intercontinental Championship on Dom's shoulder. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. It ain't the summer of Punk. This is summer of Judgment Day all over again. Then you got Naomi, who I think is has to be one of the favorites. I mean, look, I said it in my predictions at WrestleMania. I felt like she could lose to Jade at Mania, and then she could rebound and be okay. I think this is how she could rebound, by winning the Money in the Bank contract and cashing in on Tiffany Stratton, who also Tiffany Stratton cashed in her. That's how Tiffany won her championship, by cashing in. So Naomi cashing in on her, or someone cashing in on Tiffany in a deja vu moment, Then you got Alexa Bliss, and, are they doing the Wyatt 6 stuff with Alexa? Or are they not? At this point, I would like to kind of see Alexa away from the Wyatt 6, have her do her own thing. And we've seen Alexa with the briefcase before, and I just don't see it. So maybe Charlotte gets involved. We've seen Alexa and Charlotte have some interactions. So I think that takes Alexa out. Or maybe Charlotte helps Alexa win. We don't know what they talked about, but yeah, that could be an interesting development, wouldn't it? Then, of course, you got, I think a lot of people are so-and-so, or they're iffy on Rhea Ripley being in this match, but, I mean, do you not hear your TV? Are you not listening to the pop that she gets when she comes out? I mean, again, I understand, I don't want Rhea to go down the path of Charlotte, where she's always in the championship picture. I would love to see Rhea do more outside of the championship picture. But you can't tell me that the WWE and TKO, with how money hungry they are not sitting there going, we could sell a lot of Money in the Bank briefcases. So yeah, that is, and you gotta think, you got the show in Perth coming up in Australia. Why not have Rhea cash in, or announce her cash in her home country of Australia? There's a lot you can do here, and honestly, Liv Morgan probably doesn't want Rhea Ripley to win the Money in the Bank contract either. And so, I feel like, to me, there's so many things outside for the rest of the field that they're going to be doing something else. So, honestly, this has to be a Naomi. I'm sorry, this has to be a Naomi, because this can set up a long build path with Bianca coming back from injury. Maybe you get a triple threat match at WrestleMania with the championship on the line. Bianca versus Naomi with the championship on the line at some point. Jade versus Naomi with the championship. So I feel like it's going to pay off that feud more than anything. So Naomi wins Money in the Bank this year. And like I said, the Money in the Bank briefcase, what about a Money in the Bank briefcase for Naomi covered in caution tape? And now going to the men's Money in the Bank match, which is now filled out, and we have Penta, Andrade, Solo, Seth Rollins, El Grande Americano, and I pick to win it, LA Knight. Yeah. Here's the thing. When you look at this field, there's literally only two favorites in this match. Like, don't get me wrong, Penta would be a great Money in the Bank holder. Even Solo Sikoa wouldn't be a bad choice. But I think it's clear LA Knight, Seth Rollins are the two favorites, and one of them is walking out with that briefcase. And, Seth Rollins should probably talk to Drew McIntyre because didn't Drew McIntyre take out CM Punk before Money in the Bank last year, thinking that, oh, CM Punk is now out of the way, I can win Money in the Bank? And then what happened? CM Punk showed up anyway, and he cost him his Money in the Bank briefcase, which, please, WWE, do not do that again. I talked about that here, by the way, about whether or not they will waste the contract. So I'm going to predict that CM Punk will not show up to cost Seth Rollins a match. In fact, I think they even teased it at the end of Raw. Michael Cole was like, who is going to stop Seth Rollins? Yeah, we haven't seen Roman Reigns in a while. CM Punk gets taken out, and who comes out to prevent Rollins from winning? Roman Reigns. I'm predicting Roman Reigns returns to cost Seth Rollins a match, clearing the way for LA Knight to win Money in the Bank. I think it's clear that the World Heavyweight Championship is the championship that is used to give new main eventers a run at the main event scene, give them a world title. We've seen it with Damian Priest. We've seen it with Gunther. We're seeing it with Jay. And I think LA Knight fits that role this year of a new main eventer. So, yeah, I think LA Knight, Mr. Money in the Bank, I think he will win. And I think the cash in, when he cashes in, is going to be interesting. I want to make another bold prediction here. I think if Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank, and it's not LA Knight, we don't see Roman Reigns, we don't see CM Punk, we don't see Sammy, we don't see Jay. I think if Seth wins Money in the Bank, he is going to cash in on Cody Rhodes after Cody defeats John Cena to regain the championship and head over to SmackDown. Why? Because John Cena wants to take the title home. Seth Rollins wants to save wrestling. And we know the history between Seth and Cody. And honestly, I think that would be the best route to go, where we can once again revisit the Seth Cody feud. And maybe you throw in Roman Reigns. That's a triple threat match right there for WrestleMania. Roman, Cody, Seth for the WWE Championship. At wherever they're going to hold WrestleMania at. And speaking of the World Championships, the last match on the card, Cody Rhodes making his return for the first time since WrestleMania, teaming with Jey Uso against John Cena and Logan Paul. Now, we've seen over the last couple years, Money in the Bank has been used to set up the match at SummerSlam for the championship. We've seen Jey Uso pin Roman Reigns. He then faced Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Solo Sikoa pinned Cody Rhodes last year. Solo then faced Cody at SummerSlam last year. So, here's the thing. Would the WWE really have John Cena lose? I mean, yeah, Roman Reigns got pinned, Cody Rhodes got pinned, so you would think John Cena would be kind of like, okay, he could be pinned too, but I don't see them having that happen. And I don't see Cody getting pinned either if they were to have Cena and Logan win. So I think Logan Paul is here so he can take the pin. And I think Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso win. Cody pins Logan. And we saw on SmackDown, John Cena and Logan Paul, they're kind of not on the same page. So I could see Cena going, hey, dude, this is you. I'm out. He walks away from Logan Paul, leaving him in a 2-on-1 situation, and Cody and Jay win. Now, considering that both champions are in this match, and if this is the main event, it does open up the possibility of a cash-in. And if you do have it on Seth Rollins, there is a possibility of a cash-in here. Now, we do know Jay is facing Gunther next Monday on Raw. So, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities here unless they decide to close the show with the men's Money in the Bank match. But I'm imagining this will be the main event, and then we'll likely see an attempt at a cash-in if it is Seth Rollins on Raw in that Jay and Gunther match. So let me know in the comments below, who do you guys think will win this year's Money in the Bank contracts? Who do you want to see win between Cena, Logan, Jay, and Cody? Comment below. And as always, I'm your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.